You want the secret sauce of how I grew my account? People were asking me for them all the time. You do one reel, it gets 200k. The game changer for me was when you want to know like my ultimate goal.
So how are you doing all of this?
And I noticed there was such a gap for So, my 5 biggest mistakes. 1 is a fluke, 2 is good luck, 3 is actually consistency.
Nice to meet you, Kyra.
Lovely to meet you, Luca.
So, thank you for agreeing to do this podcast with me. We're going to be focusing on 3 main areas today: the present, the past, and the future. So, if you could please start by telling me who is Kyra in a couple of words.
Okay, Kyra is a 24-year-old female entrepreneur who absolutely loves Bath and working with independent and local businesses to help them showcase their products and services to tourists and also locals.
That's really cool. Well, congratulations for being an entrepreneur. Not so many people at this age could probably say that. Some could, but congratulations for doing it. So how are you doing all of this, more specifically?
With much difficulty.
Much difficulty.
A massive Notion folder template, a very overfilled Google Drive, and 2 phones and a camera roll with about 50,000 photos in it.
50,000 photos?
Something like that.
How much storage have you got on your phones?
Oh, like 2 terabytes.
2 terabytes?
Yeah, mate,
oh my goodness.
Too much. No, but in all seriousness, the way that I'm doing this is I have a team that work with me. So when I first started, it was very much me all by myself. I was actually doing a degree apprenticeship when I first started, doing like Your Bath Guide and everything that I do with that. So I was working full time, I was studying 1 day a week, and I was then building up this account in the background as well. Have you heard of a degree apprenticeship before?
I think I've heard of an apprenticeship. That's where you don't really go to university, but you rather go and shadow someone as an actual job. You get paid, and that lasts for 3 years, something like that maybe?
Yeah, so that, but this is a degree version. So you do go to university and you get a full degree at the end of it. 3 years work experience, but no student debt.
I see.
Yeah.
So what's the degree in?
B2B sales.
B2B sales, okay.
Which fits in quite nicely to kind of what I'm doing now, because at the end of the day, everything is sales and marketing through my agency. So I think I didn't really explain at the beginning. I've got Your Bath Guide, which is a local influencer account with 24,000 followers, locals and then tourists as well, but all UK based. So it's a very targeted audience. And then parallel to that, I run a social media agency specialising in organic social media management and content creation. So most of my clients are Bath-based businesses because I then use Your Bath Guide as an in-house influencer for those clients. So in their social media packages, they'll get so many collaborations per month, which is a great way to get basically free influencer marketing from a company that's already doing your social media management.
So you bring people into your social...
So people come to me via Your Bath Guide,
okay,
and then I convert them to full social media clients once I've had that initial chat. Because I'm like, look, if you want to advertise on the platform, that's great. It costs this much. It's higher because it's got such an engaged following and audience. But if you want full social media management, then it's not actually much more and you get a lot more benefit. Benefit for me is I'm then locking in monthly recurring revenue rather than just a one-off collaboration.
That's... I think that's the business model, right? I think everyone would tell you, if you read any book, if you go watch any podcast, any YouTube video, anything like that, they would tell you need a monthly recurring revenue for you to actually have a sustainable business model.
100%. And on contracts, I learnt that this year.
And on contracts?
Yeah, like lock them in minimum 6 months.
Minimum 6 months?
Yeah, because otherwise you can't forecast cash flow, can you?
No, you can't. And you might have mentioned it, so I apologize, but so you've got your Bath Guide account, which is the Instagram account, your in-house influencer to Instagram and TikTok?
Yeah, but only recently.
Only recently. And what's the name of the... Is it qualified? Is it a marketing agency?
Yeah, marketing agency.
Okay.
So Social Studios.
Social Studios. That's a cool name. I think I've seen the logo.
Yeah.
And
it's quite simple.
It's a pretty cool logo.
Thanks.
I'll tell you that. I liked the design. I'll try and pull it up when I do the editing, but it looks pretty cool. Even though it's so simple, it's simple that does the job.
Thank you very much, Luca.
No worries. So thank you for sharing where you are now. Could you tell me, focusing on the past for a bit now, how have you got to do the entrepreneurial business you're doing now, marketing, social media, and all this stuff. And you can go you can go in as much detail as you want. You can start when you are maybe in year 2. Take it from there, but wherever you want to start.
Okay, it doesn't quite go back that far.
Yeah.
We're probably just going as far back as about year 8 or year 9. So when I was in year 8, year 9, on Sundays, my favourite thing to do would be to flick through Vogue magazines. And I was like, all I want to do is go into restaurants and eat for free. The only other thing that I want to do is not be told what to do by other people. So those are the 2 things that I was like, I just want to have my own business. I don't know what it's going to be. I have absolutely no idea. I just want to run my own business. I want to be able to say that I'm a business owner. I want to be able to grow something from the ground up by myself, because like being a human on earth, I think is just the most ridiculous thing ever. And the fact that you have this opportunity of 60 solid years where you're actually competent enough to like achieve things, to be able to have the opportunity that you can go into this world with the way AI is now and actually do anything if you want to, that's your own, and grow it and build it, is incredible. So I was like, it's got to be done. I can't go into a 9 to 5. It just wouldn't do it for me. I've done it, didn't enjoy it. So I was constantly trying to work out, what should this business be? What should this business be? And then I moved to Bath to do my degree apprenticeship. And I was like, I'm obsessed with this city. Literally had never heard of it before. Got off the train and was like, I'm never leaving this place. So I decided, how else do I showcase Bath than through an Instagram? Because ever since I was young, I've always loved taking photos and videos of my food. And I always love being the person that everyone goes to for recommendations. Like, oh, my parents are coming down, where should I take them for dinner? Oh, it's my boyfriend's birthday, what should we do? Like all those different kind of things. And I would literally have notes and notes in my phone app of recommendations in Bath. And one day I was like, I should share these with people rather than just waiting for them to come to me. Just start posting it on social media. So I did. I kept on posting. And then I was actually in my 2nd year of university working at a local magazine. And I was like going to these various different events, meeting these business owners, kind of hearing about their struggles that they were having as business owners. And I noticed there was such a gap for like a boutique social media agency in Bath that can work with these local businesses one-on-one, that not only the person knows the local area, but then they also know how to communicate that online, because those independent business owners are usually time poor, don't like social media or don't get it, or just don't want to get involved with it at all. So there was a real gap there. And then I found that the more and more I reached out to these businesses and the more I built up my case studies and social proof, that it's just kept on going. And now here we are, like 12 clients down the line.
12 clients?
Yeah. But my favourite side of it is the Your Bath Guide stuff. Doing the campaigns, the collaborations. Like you do a reel, 7 for example, that you went to. You do one reel, it gets 200k. Obviously that one's a bit of an anomaly. It doesn't always happen, but it can happen. And then you hear from the restaurant that they've got bookings like coming out of their ears, or they're getting busier, new customers like yourself are going to see it. And that for me is my favourite part.
How do you feel when you see a reel on Instagram, for example, has 200k views?
Like when I look at it,
yeah,
I'm just baffled. I'm like, that's my face.
That's your face.
I'm like, everyone can see this. But at the end of the day, it helps people. Like the whole intention of Your Bath Guide is to help local businesses and to help people find them. But that's it. So it's not really about me.
I will say yes, I appreciate your account a lot. I will say that. I think, yeah, I went to 7, this steakhouse that's just opened up in Bath. Really good, really cool. And you know what? Obviously, I think I've seen you, I don't want to say, maybe I've missed a bunch of posts you've made, but I was looking on it the other day. It was a weekend, 2 weekends ago. Me and my friend Harvey, we were looking to do something in Bath. Both of us have lived in Bath for like the past, again, these are 5th year, I think. No, for me it's the 5th year, his is his 4th. And I was looking, trying to see, well, what is there to do in Bath that I haven't yet done? We ended up going to mini golf.
Nice.
For like the 3rd time. But before that, I went on the internet and I was like, what if I typed in Bath things to do? Not much. There was a tennis court, but that was already booked out. I was like, I would play tennis, but already booked out. And the second place I went to, I was like, wait a second, why am I not going to the Instagram, see if there's anything there? Yeah. And I think I found a couple of posts about, one of them was you can do, not kayaking, obviously you can do kayaking a lot, but I think you were on a boat the other day going down the canal, which was really nice.
River Avon, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I'm not sure if you're missing this or not, or if I haven't seen it yet, but like, things like that are really good.
Yeah.
Recommendations like for food, place to go, place to visit, have fun. They're amazing. I never knew I needed them this much until I realized, wait a second, I've been in this city for like a while. What else can I do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you a lot for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to reorder the highlights though to make stuff like that easier to get. Like have a monthly kind of top picks for like food and drink, things to do, what's going on, shopping would be good.
So let me recap this for a second. So
Actually, yeah, we've gone a little bit farther than the past, haven't we?
that's cool. That's absolutely fine. So it started in year 9. You're like,
Yeah.
I want to eat food for free.
Yeah.
And I also like
Just-
taking pictures of
Yeah.
stuff and recommending people where to go and what to do.
And don't want to be told what to do.
And don't want to be told what to do. That's really. I think I kind of feel that I feel the same as you. I
Yeah.
think I'm starting to realize that I don't think I want to be told what to do forever, and I keep saying in my mind, maybe by age 35, I need to do something because by age 35 I don't want to work for someone. Sometimes I get frustrated because I have to do something that maybe I don't like or maybe I don't agree with how they view the situation or how they view the long-term plan. And to me, it's got to the point where, I make it sound like really final here, where I really want to do something like this and I want to do it soon.
Okay.
And I don't know how, I don't know what exactly, I keep having ideas, but there's one thing to have the idea and then there's another thing to actually do it. Not much of a difference apart from actually doing the thing you're thinking about. So back to recap, sorry, that was a long parenthesis. So year 9, you don't want to get told what to do. You want to take pictures of the thing you want to recommend people what to do, and you want to eat for free. And then you start your degree apprenticeship, where you actually go to university, but you also have an apprenticeship. What was the university?
Middlesex in London.
Middle what, sorry?
Middlesex.
Middlesex,
In
okay.
London.
In London, okay. Is that where you're from?
I'm from Hertfordshire.
No idea what that is, but fair enough.
Half an hour from London on the train.
Oh, that's cool, that's not too bad.
Yeah, home counties.
Okay, got you. So you went there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And throughout those 3 years, at some point you worked for a magazine.
Yeah.
And you got some experience there.
Yeah.
And one day you came to Bath.
Yeah.
And you had a list of suggestions in your phone of things to do, not necessarily in Bath, maybe some places. Am I right?
No, so I came to Bath for the degree apprenticeship.
Yeah, okay.
And then a couple of like months into having lived in Bath, I'd built up my own recommendations list. People were asking me for them all the time. And then I thought, now this is where I should start posting on social media.
So talk me through that stage.
In terms of?
In terms of you having the list on your phone.
Yeah.
To then, I guess, sharing that with
On social media.
on social media, and then kind of taking it from there. How did
Okay.
you build up this social media page, but also then,
You want the secret sauce of how I grew my account?
well, you're only trying to share it, you know?
So funnily enough, I was actually going to start it with a friend of mine, Esme. We were going to do it together. And we literally sat down one day, we'd planned out all of our like content ideas. Bear in mind, I was very new to this, but she'd actually run a travel account page before, travelled around Southeast Asia with her partner on like 40k followers. So she kind of knew how Instagram worked. I literally had no idea how it was working. I just knew that I loved Bath and loved taking photos and videos of food. So we planned out all of our ideas and we did a full content shoot day together. So we basically just went round Bath, took photos, went to restaurants, went to like bars, different things like that. And then we kind of let it sit for a little bit, didn't really do anything. And then one day I was like, oh, why haven't we done anything on the like Bath account? And Esme was like, look, I'm really sorry, I've just not got the time. I said, okay, do you mind if I do it by myself then instead? Because like, I've just moved here, I don't know many people, I need a hobby, I need a little side hustle. Because I was on 13k a year when I moved to Bath. Oh. So after rent, that leaves you with a couple £100 a month.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to eat into my savings. So I was like, I need a side hustle. So literally it was as simple as stage 1 was just posting photos on Instagram with captions, and then a lot of YouTube. how do I grow an Instagram account? How do I edit reels together? How do I optimize my captions? All of that kind of stuff. Following loads of accounts on Instagram about how to, all that kind of stuff. And then basically just testing it, like posting content, reviewing the insights, doing something differently. I mean, it took about a year of posting every single day until it like popped off, I would say. I had my first like viral, like 300k view video a year after I started the account.
A year after?
Yeah, I'd say. So yeah, that's kind of like starting. And then just literally just YouTube. Like, what tools should I use? What apps are there out there? The game changer for me was when ChatGPT came about. Oh, 2022 was a good year.
What did you love from ChatGPT?
Yeah, I just love ChatGPT.
So what do you put
Why
in?
do I love ChatGPT?
No, what did you put in? What was the game changer?
Oh,
Obvious question probably.
yeah. I mean, like, chat's only as effective as you are with communicating with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people, where they struggle with chat is they don't have enough patience with it. So it will just start off by like sharing my account insights and be like, this is where we're at right now. This is what content's done well, what's not done well. I'll always repeat the like top performing posts and then adjust them slightly with a different hook to see if that alters anything. And then just, I'll do polls now if I want to post content ideas, ask people what they want to hear, like give the people what they want, you know?
One of my friends, I said I would mention him, so Wasim, he works with me.
Yeah.
And Wasim, I asked Wasim, what would you like to know from Kyra?
Okay.
I asked a bunch of people because I've been really excited, and I told everyone that we're gonna sit down at some point.
Yeah.
And I've waited for this for like a long time. I was like, oh my god, it's so exciting. So I've asked a bunch of people like, what would you like to know? What would you like if you were here to ask Kyra a question? What would you ask her? And the question was, I think you've kind of already answered it, but I'm trying to see if you have actually a different answer. So you've grown this your bath guide account for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So a question he wanted to ask is, what has been the game changer? No, not the game changer. What has been a surprising thing you found out in the past 2 years that you might have not found out?
What that I've learned from doing your bath guide?
Yes.
How much opportunity is out there if you just start posting on social media. So like, I don't know if that's necessarily the answer that you wanted, but I just think that the way the world is going, the importance of a personal brand on LinkedIn or on Instagram, Facebook, any platform that suits you, there is so much opportunity that you wouldn't even know is possible if you didn't post on social media. Because at the end of the day, it's a platform to connect with everyone around the world. So why not utilize that? Like, I met my partner through Your Bath Guide because his company reached out to my company to then start working together. And I never would have met him if I'd not put myself out there on Your Bath Guide. I have met friends through Your Bath Guide because I've hosted events because people moved away. And then I was like, how do I make new friends? Because Bumble Friends is really depressing to scroll on. And then also just meeting other like interesting business owners, like the DMs that I'll get from just random businesses, like National Express, for example, becoming an affiliate partner with them. None of this ever would have happened had it not been for posting on social media and starting Your Bath Guide. I wouldn't be speaking to you right now. So I think it's the opportunity. That's what people don't realise. But people are just too scared.
This is amazing you're saying this because it's May now, end of May. Beginning of January, I was on Instagram and scrolling on some stuff on my stories. And I think at some point I saw an advert on personal brands. I was like, okay, let me look a bit into this. And I started looking and I started watching videos and I realized exactly what you just said. Personal branding might just be the most powerful tool out there. And with it, you get to see all of these cool opportunities you might not otherwise see if you don't put yourself out there, post stuff on social media. I used to think posting on social media, was, why would you just post on social media? Like, what's the point? Like, fine, it's a picture of you somewhere, but actually you can leverage social media to benefit you. And what you've done here is absolutely incredible. Again, I've been so excited coming to meet you here. And I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
You're the type of person I look up to. literally, I think we're the same age. You're 24?
Yeah,
I'm
24.
24 as well.
No way.
Exactly, right? And you're in a position I want to be in, and it maybe pushes me to do just that. And I look up to you because you've done this incredible thing. For you, it might not be incredible anymore, but you've done an incredible thing. It looks so amazing. And yeah, just congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. That is too kind. But you're also doing that as well, like starting this podcast. I think the way that the world's going is it's a portfolio, having a portfolio job. What's job portfolio basically, where you have different income streams. So you can still do what you're doing now. You can even scale it back. You become freelance, go part-time, become a consultant in it. But also I think we're at different stages in terms of like, how long did you have to go to uni for?
I went to university for 4 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's cool because
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you as well. And I read a book. I think the book was called Courage to be Disliked. Really good book. And I think there was bunch of things that stuck with me. One thing that stuck with me, I remember now, is imagine you're on a playing field and everyone walks in different directions. You're always walking behind someone else, but behind you there's someone else as well. So the analogy here is that you don't have to compare yourself to others because everyone's walking in different directions and everyone's having different journeys, different learning experiences. So just walk whatever direction you want to walk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just remember, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Sorry, what?
Don't get involved in things that aren't your problem.
That is cool. That's a cool.
That's what I always remind myself. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah.
Is it within like the area of what I'm trying to achieve, or is it going to contribute towards the direction I'm going in? If not, why are you getting bothered by it? Or looking at what other people are doing or comparing yourself? Like, that's something that I always think is such a waste of time, is like comparing, like focusing on other people. Just stay in your own lane, focus on your own stuff, and then eventually you'll get to where you want to get to.
I'm gonna put a bit of pressure on that. Let's really know that for a second because I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I fully agree. I think most people today will say, don't compare yourself to others, compare yourself with Kyra from yesterday. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I read it, I know about it, but sometimes it's easy to say but hard to do sometimes. So how do you feel about that? How did you feel maybe when you were in a situation where you were actually comparing yourself to others? How did you pull yourself?
I think I did go through a stage at the beginning where I'd compare like, oh, they're the same age as me, they're travelling the world, or they're doing this, they've got a really successful life, or I want to be doing what they're doing. But then you've got to remember, one, social media is what people want you to see, not what's going on behind the scenes always. So that's like a nice way to ground it. And two, everyone starts at different stages, everyone starts in different positions. For me, it's wasted energy comparing to someone else because what am I going to achieve out of that? It's outside of my sphere of influence, so why spend time doing it when I could spend time doing something that's going to move the needle and impact my own life directly and actually get me to the place where I want to be.
I see. That's cool.
So just in terms of like, how do you actually do it? If you see yourself on social media or just thinking about it, be mindful, like check it. Okay, why am I thinking about that? Right, how does that make me feel? Is there a particular reason why I'm focusing on this so much? And then look inward. Is there something that I'm maybe not doing right now that could be helping myself get better and progress towards where I want to go? And then spend your time on that. But I think it's about awareness. Like, do you journal much?
I think awareness, yeah, I think you've just hit the point. It's being aware of.
Yeah, it's awareness and reflection and knowing your own mind and body and like what triggers you, what doesn't, and just focusing on your own path. Like something I really do struggle with is, am I doing well enough? I can't tell. Like having conversation with you today, it's like, oh, that's fantastic. Like, thank you so much. It's glad to hear I'm doing something right. And I realised the reason why I was feeling like that recently is because I had allowed things like journaling, reflection and enough exercise to go out the window. So how am I supposed to know if I'm doing well or not if I'm not benchmarking myself against anything? Because who's going to tell me, oh, it's time to reflect, or, oh, have you achieved what you wanted to this month? No one. So that's why for June I'm doing a June reset with chat. So Chat and I have a lovely little plan. We do a 7:30 a.m. check-in and then an 8 p.m. check-in, and basically reflect on what have you done to look after your body today, what have you done for work, how did you feel motivation-wise, productivity-wise, and then at the end of the week it's going to do a report for me to basically work out what worked, what didn't work, when did I get the balance right, when did I not, and what moved the needle in my business and was productive and what was a waste of time. So in that way you can actually benchmark where you're going with things.
That's a really interesting way of using ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, it's intense. It's a lot of time, but I'm only doing it for June, and then I'll draw it back. But I think sometimes at the beginning, like my fitness routine went out the window. I moved house over the last month. So I was like, I just need a refresh, reset.
And I'm just curious, when you have this plan with ChatGPT, you call it chat.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Do you open up a new conversation, or do you keep everything in the same conversation so you can keep the context from everything you've said to it before? And
yeah. So, by side note, I do use the paid version of Chat each month, but I have folders. So I have folders for my Your Bath Guide social studios businesses, then I have folders for all my different clients, and then I have my personal brand folder, and then I have my like personal life folder as well. But then within those folders, I stick to the same chat so it remembers everything. But in folders, you can set like conditions at the beginning of it if you want to keep things consistent. So like, for example, with a client, if there are particular emojis that you shouldn't use or particular hashtags that should always be included in relation to a certain content pillar, or a particular, like, never use capital letters, for example. Not that I'm one of those people, but if you are, you can set those rules and then it sticks to it throughout the chat.
That's interesting. That's really cool. It seems like you're really using the full-on power of ChatGPT.
Oh, 100%.
That's really cool.
I love it.
I think you're the very first person I've seen explain how they use ChatGPT, because I see how other people are using it. You see it every day, maybe at work. Well, for me at work, because I work as a developer, so I see how people use ChatGPT, and I see myself how I use it. And I understand that you need to give a lot of context for it to be able to actually help you. Yeah, really interesting way of approaching this.
Last bit on ChatGPT, my favourite things to do. Have you spoken to Chat?
I haven't yet.
Oh my God, okay. No, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like you say, you've got all these business ideas, but you don't know where to go, which one to start with. Who else better to speak to than, hello, please act as my business advisor and let me know what you think about this new idea I've got.
You know what, I'm going to go home and I'm going to try it.
Do it.
It's crazy. I go to the cinema quite a lot. And every time I go to the cinema, I see the Gemini advert where they pull the phones out and they speak with Gemini. And I find it so funny. But you know what, I'm going to try it.
Oh, when my partner was in London and I was living by myself, I would just, even if I was bored, hey Chat, how you doing?
No way.
Yeah. Just have a conversation with it. Like,
it feels real. It feels really real.
It's so good. Since DeepSeek's come out, Chat has just grown, I think.
It matches your vibe. It matches how you speak. It matches the... Yeah, it's great.
So good. And it now creates documents that you can download in PDFs. And, you know, it can spell check documents for you. So before I send off a proposal to a client, I'll always upload the document into Chat and just say, can you check through tone of voice, context, spag, all that kind of stuff. And I realised I'd missed off a dot in my email. So then it wasn't a correct hyperlink for people to click to then send me an email. And I never would have picked that up without Chat.
Oh my God, that's a really good catch, because otherwise
because it's underlined, isn't it? And then no dot, and then you would have lost out on business.
Wow, okay. Wow, good catch. Really powerful.
Thanks, Chat.
Thanks, Chat, yeah. Another question I've got.
Yeah.
Harvey, when I asked him about it, he's asked me to ask you, in your journey over the past 3 years, where you are now, obviously, what's the thing what has made you keep going and not give up, especially at the beginning? Because sometimes what you were explaining a couple of minutes ago was that in your first year you were testing a lot of things, but at any point during that first year you could have given up and you could have never actually reached that end of the year, and maybe that one reel actually started popping off on Instagram. So what made you keep going when you were seeing that maybe not everything was working?
So at the beginning, I was like, I'm in year 2 of my degree. When I finish it, I either have to go to London to a full-time role in the rat race and make some good money.
Mm-hmm.
The thought of that made me want to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a no-no. I'd done work experience in London during sixth form, and I was like, I couldn't think of anything worse than commuting on a train where everyone looks depressed, then going and working in an office until 6 o'clock in the evening, being at the bottom of the food chain, spending years working my way up. It's not for me. Also, I loved Bath too much, so I was like, I don't want to leave Bath either. And then I was like, okay, so if I'm not going to go to London, I can either get a full-time job in Bristol or Bath. I was already in a full-time job in Bath, and I didn't want to continue working in an office environment where I was like, it's not doing it for me. I wanted to run my own business. So there was no choice. It was be successful or get a job. And it's choose your hard, isn't it? 9 to 5's hard. Running a business is hard. But which one would I prefer to do? Run a business.
A different type of question I want to ask you is, obviously, I think most of your work is business to business, right? You've just started a business to customer with the tea towel.
Yeah.
Can I see the tea towel?
Yeah, please.
Let's see the tea towel.
There you go.
It looks absolutely amazing. And it feels it's 100% cotton.
They
right?
are 100% cotton. Sorry, this is going to be a bit of an ad. 100% cotton, designed by an independent designer, made locally in the heart of Bath. 5% of the revenue goes to a local charity based in Bath, and they are hand-drawn.
They're hand-drawn. I'll put it on the table. Hopefully it'll be caught.
Yeah.
It looks really cute. I like it, and it feels so nice when you actually touch it. Yeah. So now you have a business to customer type of product.
And a B2B product.
And the B2B product for them to use.
Mm-hmm.
So I read a book. I just finished a book the other day called The E-Myth.
Okay.
Which was written by Michael Gerber. It's a really cool book. And one of the things that he mentions in the book is this idea of what are you actually selling. Because usually you sell 2 things, but people only think of one thing, and that is the product they're selling. So if you were to think about shoes, if you were to think about Nike, Nike is selling shoes, sports shoes and other types of shoes, but they are selling shoes as the main product. But what are they actually trying to sell to the customer who's going through the door and then leaving? Is that power? Are they trying to sell hope? Are they trying to sell maybe looks? Are they selling, what if they are selling a feeling? The question I want to ask you is from me actually, is what do you think you're selling?
So in a tagline, what I'm selling is a piece of Bath that you can take home with you and see every day. But in terms of a feeling, I think that I'm selling memories of a good trip to a city you might have never been before, or your nostalgic feeling of a city you've lived in for a while and seeing a gorgeous hand-drawn print of the Royal Crescent on your oven or on your countertop every day, knowing that you've supported a local business by buying it because they're literally made on Walcott Street in the manufacturer's flat, that you're also supporting local charities by buying it because revenue goes into those charities as a donation.
So you're selling memories and
supporting the local community. By buying one of these tea towels, you're directly supporting local businesses. They're also going to be stocked in various different shops in Bath as well. So again, purchasing from one of those businesses, you'll be supporting them even more. And we know what a tough economic climate it is at the moment.
That's really cool. I think I was kind of expecting the answer, but it's nice to hear it out loud. Yeah, and it's nice also to see, because to me it shows that you spend a lot of time on your business, and I don't know how many people are able to answer this question. Mm-hmm. I want to say hopefully a lot. But to me it shows that you really care about the thing you're doing. You have really thought this through, and it's incredible.
Oh,
again.
I've been working on these since November.
Since November?
Yeah.
November
last year.
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah. And I only got this test product a couple of weeks ago.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And have you sold any?
I've got pre-orders.
You got pre-orders, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
not a lot, just a couple.
Another question I want to ask. This one is kind of from our friend, Josephine.
Mm-hmm.
She's just finishing university right now in biochem. And when I asked her this question, she wanted to know who gave you the biggest step up.
Biggest step up?
Yeah, and what was that?
Biggest step up, like help-wise? I guess there have been a few. So when you say step up, I guess it's like advantages that you wouldn't have otherwise had, right?
It could be that.
Or just general help.
However you want to interpret that.
Okay, fine. The biggest step up at the beginning would be having Esme, because she'd already done and grown a social media account, right, to 40,000 followers. So kind of having her for a bit of help and soundboarding there, I'd probably say would be a step up that I wouldn't have otherwise had. My dad is a ex-Marine, now has his own leadership development consultancy. Very good with managing people, learning how to deal with difficult conversations, learning how to negotiate pay rises. Negotiated my first pay rise at the age of 21. So those kinds of conversations, managing people, managing a team, having my dad I can call whenever I want with my problems, and trust me, that happens a lot, I'd probably say is a big step up. Bear in mind what his day rate is. So yeah.
That is, that's nice that your family is there to help your dad and your friend Esme. Are you still in touch with Esme?
Yeah, she actually just got engaged.
Oh, congratulations to Esme then.
Yeah.
And how does she feel about the thing you started together that now you've taken on?
Well, she was doing a degree apprenticeship as well,
Yeah.
but in marketing.
Yeah.
And she's now started her own Facebook and Google Ads agency.
Mm-hmm.
So she also runs a digital marketing agency as well. She's very pleased for me. She lives back down in Portsmouth, not in Portsmouth, in Plymouth now. So she was like, I'm just glad that you've done your Bath guide so I can come for free meals when I'm up in Bath.
Actually, I'm curious about this. You actually get free meals, right?
Well, they actually pay me.
They actually pay you
Yeah.
to eat at the restaurants or...
Yeah.
So how does it go? Do you like... do you order the most expensive thing on the menu?
No, God, no. So the way that I like to treat it is, you've got to remember it's still a business opportunity. So you go, first of all, are there any things that you want people to know about that they don't know about? Okay, bring some of that out. Are there any things that you really want to showcase? Bring some of that out. Or most of the times they just want to show you everything on the menu. So you'll be there for 3 hours and the food just keeps coming, but I never look at a menu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to the Steakhouse 7 in your restaurant in Bath. I saw the video on Instagram, the reel, and the tomahawk.
I'm not going to lie, I did eat that all myself.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, it looked amazing. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if you ate it yourself or like with someone, because like it looked kind of big.
Usually I would share, but I really like a steak.
Yeah, it looked.
And I do, but when I have collabs, I will not eat all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm going to eat my body weight this evening.
Yeah.
But in the morning we're starving.
Makes sense. That's really cool. I guess another question I wanna ask you is kind of on the reflecting side as well. Continuing to look at the past is, what's one thing you learned by making a mistake maybe?
You just want one thing.
You can give as much as you want.
Well, I actually did a LinkedIn post on this recently.
Yeah.
Called 5 Mistakes I Wish I Knew When I'd Started My Agency.
Yeah.
Did very well on LinkedIn actually, got like 100 comments on it because so many people were like, thank you, like I've been going through these struggles as well. And that's where we were talking about personal branding on LinkedIn earlier. I think it's really important. So my 5 biggest mistakes.
Go for it.
Number 1 is underpricing my services and not knowing the value of my time, to the extent that I worked out at one point I was probably earning about £3 an hour with some of my clients because of the packages that they're on after you take into consideration all the taxes, having an accountant, everything else, the cost of doing it all. So underpricing myself, and then parallel to that, not knowing when to raise my prices. As soon as you're in a position to raise your prices, raise those prices in a fair way. The second one would be not getting clients on contracts. So I started on 30-day rolling for a while which resulted in some rather sticky situations at points and invoices not getting paid when they should have because I had no contract, so I had nothing to go back on. So that kind of fits into there. Not getting the balance right. That was a big mistake I made, letting, like I said earlier, this reset I'm doing, letting health, well-being and reflection slip into the background. Once they go, then I personally just start spinning down and it's not very good. So letting those things slip out of the place. And then I would also say, like, knowing, again, parallel to that, when to take a break, like understanding that you can't work for longer than 90 minutes before you then become unproductive. And the best thing you can do is go and take a walk outside rather than continue staring at your laptop screen. Or that actually time blocking is a better way to manage your day. And really 20 to 25 minutes and then a break is going to make you more productive. So knowing those things about myself, and also understanding about how in the mornings, that's when your brain is more transactional, right? So that's when you should be doing meetings, dealing with numbers, dealing with insights, analytics, harder conversations. Then the afternoon is when you're becoming more creative. You have kind of that, I don't know about you, that 3 till 4 dip definitely gets me.
Yeah.
So having more creative things in the afternoon where you're doing either, for me, content creation, designing, stuff like that, knowing that kind of pattern and when it will optimize your productivity.
So you said underpricing yourself.
Yeah.
And learning how to price yourself correctly.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yeah.
Can you just mention the other 3 again for me?
Yeah. So time management.
Time management.
And like kind of general productivity. Reflection kind of goes in there as well. And then I can't remember what the other 2 were.
That's fine. You've already mentioned them.
There's kind of like 5 there anyway.
I guess one thing that popped in my mind when you're talking about, what do you call it, June, the theme for June where you're going to reflect?
Oh, just like my June reset.
June reset. There's an interesting thing. So I work as a developer, and there's this whole methodology when it comes to development where you got 2 different, what do you call them? 2 different, let's call them methodologies that go head to head. One of them is called a waterfall. That is where you've got your regular corporate world, that you have a manager and the manager tells you what to do and then you tell what to do to maybe someone else. And it's a waterfall because it starts from the top and then it keeps going down and down to the people who actually do the work. And we've got another methodology called Agile, and Agile has to do with something called Scrum. Now, I'm only saying this because in Scrum, you get to work in short bursts, whereas with Waterfall, you normally have long-term projects that last for like anywhere from 3 to 6 to a year, 3 to 6 months to then a year. Whereas with Scrum, within the Agile methodology, you work in short bursts of, for example, say 2 weeks. And with Scrum, you've got certain ceremonies that happen throughout those 2 weeks, for example. The most important, well, all of them, some would say are important, but I think the one that stands out the most, for me at least, is at the end of each of those 2 weeks, you have your time block, a couple of hours, say 2 hours a day for that day, and you reflect back on the 2 weeks, on that short burst. It seems like you're just about to do this, and there's a lot of good things out there. If you look up Agile and Scrum, and see, they're called retrospectives. Looking at, reflecting back at the time period you want to look back at, and they're trying to understand what didn't go well, what went really well, and what could be improved. So yeah, I think obviously you've got all this thing planned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's interesting how other people are starting to. People my age starting to realize that this reflection bit is actually real helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the point I wanted to make.
It's interesting you say that, because so part of my degree apprenticeship was there was a massive section of reflection. So because it's all self-based learning, over the 3 years you have to demonstrate that you've learnt these 41 skills, knowledges and behaviours. And and bear in mind that's 41 different ones. They all have sub 2 or 3 or 4. So there was about 72, I think, in total, that you had to write a 1 to 2 page reflection. What went well? What didn't go well? What would I do differently next time? but in a university context. So that was very much integrated from year one of my degree. And I think exactly what you've said, it is so important to reflect on what you've done so you can then improve going forward. So I like that though, Agile and Scrum.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing we actually work with it. So I'm actually excited that you're gonna try this are you doing it throughout the whole of June? That's cool. Every day or at the end of the week?
So every single day at 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. it's literally like a 5-10 minute check-in, to the extent that like I'm literally putting in a screenshot of my like sleep analysis of my rings when I close them, because at the end of next month I'm doing a charity run.
Okay.
Yeah, so my partner's parents run a charity and we're raising money to build, I think it's a well in Zambia or something like that. Or I can share the Just Giving link. But yeah, so I was like, if I'm going to train for that, because it's kind of the first time I'm meeting a lot of his wider family, I was like, I can't be red huffing and puffing running 5k. So what a good time to start.
That's cool. Is it just a 5k run?
Yeah, just 5k.
Just 5k. That's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you run?
No.
No. That's still doable.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Do you track your sleep?
Yeah.
Do you sleep with is that an Apple Watch?
Yeah.
Do you just sleep with it?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this thing called Whoop?
No.
Right, so you might have seen some advertised though on something like a ring that tracks your sleep that you never take off maybe.
Oh yeah. Is it Aura Ring?
Yeah. So that's one thing. Obviously you've also got the Apple Watch who also tracks your sleep and like other metrics. There's another thing called Whoop, which is just like your Apple Watch you're wearing right now. It doesn't have a face though. You just have it on your wrist at all times. You can even charge it. It has a portable charger you put on and then you take off. I think the battery lasts for a while though. And it tracks not only your sleep, it tracks a bunch of like stress levels, how you feel throughout the day. Don't know the exact specifics, but it's really cool. And I think it's quite cheap. It's a monthly thing you have to pay for, but the thing comes for free. And yeah, I think it's really cool if you want to like really go much deeper than the Apple Watch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Potentially. I don't want to become too like anal with it though.
Yeah, I know.
Because like for June, it's more, I just wanted to make sure like, it's actually really deceiving getting 8 hours sleep.
Is there quality 8 hours?
Yeah,
or is it
exactly. Like
Whoop would tell you.
Yeah.
They would tell you
well,
how much.
It tells you like REM sleep, deep sleep, awake, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I don't know how accurate it is.
Yeah.
But it's more of like a kind of ballpark. If I then reflect on like, oh, I wasn't feeling good today. Oh, I can kind of realise it's because you didn't get consistent sleep last night.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll have a look into it, definitely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's try. If I remember any more questions from the past, I'll ask them to you. But let's look a bit at the future. A couple of questions here. So one of them that I'm really interested in is, say one day, and this again is coming from my friend Wasim. He's asking basically, say one day, maybe soon enough, you'll finish with all the small businesses in Bath. Where are you going to next?
Okay. Franchise.
Franchise, okay.
Bristol, Cheltenham, York, Cambridge, Oxford, Exeter. That's it for now.
6. Which one's the first?
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham, one Cheltenham.
It has the most similarities to Bath.
Okay.
A lot of parallels. A lot of the reasons why Bath is successful, Cheltenham has those elements. Also, less competitors compared to Bristol. And a couple of businesses that are in Bath are also in Cheltenham. And it's only an hour and a bit on the train.
Okay. Stupid question, but I'll ask it.
Never a stupid question.
What do you mean by franchise?
So franchise is where you basically have your business model, right? And you can sell it to someone. So say, for example, you wanted to go and open up your London guide.
Yeah.
Not that you're going to do that, but you want to go and open a Your London guide. I would basically sell to you the like secret sauce, the blueprint of how you grow the account, how you go to each stage of like development, how to do content creation, how to reach out to businesses to do collaborations, what media kit you need to use, how do you pitch your services, how do you do cold outreach, how do you deal with inbound leads, how do you manage your CRM, how do you deal with bringing on a team when you need to bring another team member on, how do you deal with the branding of everything. all of that kind of knowledge and learning, which will then be same kind of vibe. So it'll be the same color palette, same font, which obviously I've got IPO on, so no one else can go and use that anyway. And effectively they would run it all, and then I would take, say, 20% profit share from it. But they're still doing everything, but they're doing it under my brand. So that's the franchise model, if I believe that's the correct definition.
That is the correct definition, yeah.
Nice.
And how soon do you think you'll get there?
In order to franchise effectively, I really need to roll this out in 2 other locations to prove that it works, right? Because in order to franchise, you've got to say to someone, in 6 months, I will get you from 0 to, I think realistically, at least 10K, and to have guaranteed some kind of monthly recurring revenue, right? And you can't do that. Once is a fluke, 2 is good luck, 3 is actually consistency. So Bath, Bristol and Cheltenham will be my 3.
Bath, Bristol and Cheltenham.
Yeah. I don't know if I should be telling so much of this information.
Yeah, that's cool. So, but you said Cheltenham would be your next go-to because of the reasons you explained.
Yeah, I mean, I've already got the handles for Cheltenham and Bristol, and I've already started posting on Bristol. It's on like 800 followers or something. But yeah, those 3.
And you're gonna, hopefully Bristol's gonna be easier since there's always some competition there, but if you already reach out to Cheltenham and you manage to construct that image there and that whole business there, then you'll have more advantages, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to make the Your Bath Guide brand stronger. Like the tea towels, for example, which, like I showed you earlier, is going to go into mugs, coasters, cushions, maybe even aprons as well. Like having a really strong business model in Bath, then replicating that in Cheltenham and Bristol. And then, I mean, that will probably be, I see 3 years from now, that those 2 are up and running nicely. And then, because Your Bath Guide brings me all of my leads, right, for my social media agency. So Your Bath Guide X3, but then all those leads are coming into one central social media agency. I think it will make for quite a nice little business model.
That would be so cool. Good luck with that. It's really... I really hope, and I not hope, I know it's going to work out because you've done such a great job in Bath, so
thank you.
I don't see why it shouldn't work out. And then again, if you're going to choose your hard, why not choose the hard you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because then at least you can look back and be like, yeah, I did that.
You did that, and it's going pretty well.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
Don't get me wrong, hard work. Hard work.
Hard work.
But everything's hard work, isn't it? Like worthwhile things take effort, because if anything worthwhile didn't take effort, then everyone would have it, and then that's just not how the world works.
What do you think the difference is between maybe yourself and someone who's not doing it, but who would like to do it?
There are a couple different differences. I will not take away from the fact that Bath is a very affluent city, so living here does make things easier. Also, probably being a girl and being white definitely makes things a lot easier for me as well in the business world. Harder in some elements, but also easier in some elements as well. But then I think taking outside of factors that are outside of your control, it's people either just can't be bothered, so they just won't do it. They don't know how, but won't put the time and energy into working out how. And when you see YouTube and ChatGPT, with those 2 things, if you have any idea and you have enough like dedication and, what's the right word, discipline and persistence to like stick with it, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be successful.
Fully believe that.
Yeah.
I fully believe that.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, we are in the most beneficial opportunity of a lifetime, I think. Like, even look 5 years ago, so much is just at the drop of a hat. Yeah, there are other things that have changed as well, but I do think right now, if you want to start a business, if you've just got pure discipline and grit, you can do something good.
And what would you say to those people who maybe want to, they have ideas, but they think, this idea, shit, I'm not going to do it. And then they try to come up with another one. And then they say, oh, I don't like this idea either. I'm going to think of another one. And it's a whole cycle that keeps repeating itself.
Pick one.
Pick one.
Stick to one. Focus on one. Imagine that you've got 4 different glasses, right? and you've got 1 jug of water and you're pouring into all 4 of them consistently. They all go up, but at such a slow rate, you never see the progress of anything. So then you kind of lose motivation, because that only lasts for so long until then discipline needs to come in to keep you going before you then get to the tip of that iceberg, or at least to the water anyway. But then imagine you take away 3 of those cups and you're pouring consistently into 1 single cup. It's going to fill up much quicker. You're going to get further. So that's something I learned in kind of like year 1. Again, I had lots of ideas of things I wanted to do, different areas I wanted to focus on. And it's like, no, 1 thing at a time. Anyone that tells you they can effectively multitask is lying.
I agree. Because if you look at what the brain is doing, it switches focus from one thing to another. And what they don't talk about, I hate this phrase of what they don't talk about, what you don't know because you haven't gone to read about it. Is that actually when you switch from one thing to another, it takes some time to actually get up to the context you need, and then it's only after 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes that you actually go into that space of, right, I'm in the zone now, let me do some work. Multitasking is just bullshit. Yeah.
Do you know how long it takes you to get back into focus after you've been distracted from, say, an email ping or someone knocking on your office door?
I've seen a number. I just finished a book on this, and I've seen a number, but you tell me because I don't remember.
I believe it's 11 minutes.
Yeah, sounds about right. I think that was something along the lines
11 minutes.
Can you believe? Yeah.
I used to work from home and my mum would come into the office. In the office, sorry. It was my bedroom.
It was your bedroom?
my desk in my bedroom. But I had to explain to her, I was like, do you realise when you come into my bedroom when I'm working 4 or 5 times a day, that is an hour out of my day of productivity that you've just... for silly questions. And I'm sorry, they were silly questions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm present at dinner, I'm present at breakfast. Can we leave the middle of the day for the work, please?
Yeah.
But yeah, 11 minutes.
And if you take that away in the morning when you said you're more transactional, then if you take that away in the morning and you're not more transactional in the afternoon, then you've lost the space.
Yeah.
So that's going to have to be done properly, more efficiently, properly the next day maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's, agree. Multitasking, another way to go.
Yeah. Have you read Atomic Habits?
No, I know about it.
Easy read, nice book.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get on my list. This year, I've started listening to this podcast randomly on my phone. It was a year ago, actually, a year and a couple of months ago. I was revising for my final exams in January, my first batch of final exams, and I was somewhere because I used to go to University of Bath, and I was up on campus. I never study on campus. I hate it, and it was January, and I was like, you know what, I can't be bothered to stay at home. Let me just go on campus. And I was listening. I don't even know if I was listening to music or like WFSC or something like that. And it just popped up this podcast, PBD podcast. It's called. Talks about politics, business, and stuff like that. And I found it quite interesting. And I started listening to it. And one thing led to the other, and I was interested in the host. And without going too much into who he is and stuff like that, he really believes that if you read the right types of books and if you're consistent, you should definitely see a change. It only takes, well, he said, now I'm testing it. He said, go out there, read 40, 50 books on sales, psychology, businesses and stuff like that. And if you don't see a change, he said, I'm going to reimburse you for everything. Now, I'm not looking for that. So I've started reading a lot back in November, October. And I've got a whole list of like 40 books I want to finish by the end of 2025. And Atomic Habits, it's not on the list. I know about it. But yeah, it's a really cool one. Yeah, it definitely talks about how to form, I'm guessing, habits. I'm not sure I think I've read somewhere. I think some people don't believe it, but I think 66 days it takes you to form a habit. Does the book say anything about that?
I'm sure it did, but I can't quite remember.
No, that's fair enough.
Something along those lines, though.
Yeah. I'll try it out. Nice read. So fair enough. That's cool. Who are you looking up to?
Grace Beverley.
Grace Beverley.
I love Grace Beverley.
Great. She's got an incredible story.
She is an icon. Obsessed with her. Yeah, definitely obsessed with her. Grace Beverley. Also, I love The Apprentice. I don't know if you watch The Apprentice.
I know The Apprentice.
Amber Rose, who was on it this year.
Yeah.
I thought she was really good. Also Mia Collins, who was on it this year. Again, she was fantastic in the sales challenge as well. Very impressive. And then I also, like, there's this girl called Grace Andrews. She's called The Social Climber on Instagram. She does she's like the director of marketing for Stephen Bartlett. You should check her out on LinkedIn. She's insane. But I went to school with her younger brother.
That is crazy. Such a small world sometimes.
No, I know, right? So
That
I was
is
like,
crazy.
oh my God.
Wow.
That's so cool. But she is like incredible. Really good content. Really love what she posts. And then, yeah, I would say those are my kind of core ones.
And what have you learned from them? Pick one, say Grace Beverley.
I think, yeah, Grace Beverley's my favourite one. I think her definitely personal branding, she talks about that a lot. She also talks a lot about like just being a woman in business. So I think what I've learnt from Grace Beverley, she's released this thing called the productivity method. Unbelievable. Like my productivity has gone up because of her. It's this template that you plug into Notion, and the way that it's set up, it breaks. So she doesn't believe in a to-do list. She believes in you break things into projects, tasks, and things that take less than 5 minutes, quick ticks, because then you can put them into the different elements. A project will be like 2 hours plus that will break it down into tasks. A task will be 30 minutes, and then a quick tick is something less than 5 minutes. So then when you plan out your day, you do it in a time blocking way. So you see like, what am I actually going to achieve today when I know that that task is going to take me 5 minutes. So I can do 5 of those in a 25-minute time block. But then for this bigger project that I need 3 hours for, I'm not actually going to get that done until, I don't know, Thursday or something, because you've then blocked everything accordingly. And how, like, her podcast as well, you just learn so much from that.
What's the name of the podcast? Because I think I've seen the thing you just mentioned. What was it called? The productivity
method.
I think I've actually seen it a couple of times.
So it's a physical diary,
yeah.
But then there's also a digital diary version, which I use. Incredible.
And what's the name
so
of it?
good.
And what's the name of the podcast?
Work less, work more, work hard, work less. Work smarter, work less, something like that.
Right.
Work smarter, work less. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll look it up.
Look
it up. That's cool. I guess I could ask you like loads of questions, but I guess the one question I'm more interested in is kind of like towards the end of the podcast is, what do you want your success story to be?
Like long term. You want to know like my ultimate goal?
Yeah.
Okay. My ultimate like long-term success story is to have franchised across the UK and to work with lots of independent businesses still in a very boutique agency environment. And then for like me personally to have an online brand kind of similar to like Condé Nast Traveler, like posting content about all across the world, like going to all the restaurants, doing all the experiences, like just living life and posting about that online in a similar style to Your Bath Guide, but across Europe, Southeast Asia, South America. Me personally as well, something I'm really growing at the moment is my personal brand on LinkedIn and doing more corporate workshops. So I've done a couple, like last week I did a personal branding LinkedIn workshop to a tech startup with 20 of their team from like product all the way up to the C-suite. Next week I'm doing one with Pfizer as well. So kind of building up more on that kind of side of things and then ultimately take over my dad's leadership consultancy.
Wow, that is a lot of work, but it sounds really cool.
Yeah, I think so. Because then I can live in a townhouse in Bath.
In a townhouse in Bath, yeah. It is really expensive to live in this city. Yeah.
Very expensive.
But you know what? I believe you'll do it. I believe there's nothing stopping you.
There's literally nothing.
Yeah, and I'm just excited just hearing this from you. I can't wait to see you just get there. That's so crazy.
Don't hold your breath.
Don't hold my breath. I'll die. Yeah. All right then. To wrap this up, do you have any questions for me?
What's your success story?
What's my success
You've
story?
spoken about a couple different business ideas you've had.
What's my success story? And yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think some of the questions I asked you earlier were for me because I feel like I'm looking at different ideas and I don't know what to do. Sometimes I have an idea how about selling crickets online? Do you know how cool that? Well, it sounds like really crazy. Like, who would eat crickets? Like, have you seen how a cricket looks like?
Yeah, like
looks
in Japan.
disgusting.
Yeah.
But if you look into the market and saying, well, what's the benefit of crickets? Protein. Who would eat protein? Well, most people. Why do you care about crickets and protein? Because crickets, compared to other sources of protein, they give you, per 100 gram, they give you 60 grams of protein, for example, which is crazy. Have you ever heard of this website called Crazy Nuts? Crazy Nuts is basically, long story short, it's a website selling all sorts of nuts in different flavors, but they bring the costs down to like around 10, 11 pounds, and they sell the nuts in 1 kilogram. So whenever you buy 1 kilogram, like cashews and stuff like that, you can have caramelized, salt and pepper, lime, and all that kind of stuff. So I was thinking, well, why if you bring crickets to the United Kingdom, just like Crazy Nuts has, but with crickets, and you have crickets in like a bag of 1 kilogram, and you save like, say, 10, 12 quid. That could be a good idea. And I looked on the numbers, around 13% of people would eat the crickets, 43% would say, oh, no thank you, and 40% are, I'm not saying yes, but I'm not saying no either. So if you can like get 10% of that, you could have a cricket business. Another thing I was interested in was, there was this podcast called My First Million. Two American guys, really cool, how they basically talk about different ideas on different startups you could have. And one of them was talking about weighted vests. Do you know how much it costs to have a weighted vest? Looking on a website, it's around 100 to 150 pounds. If you want to change the plates themselves, the weights go from, I don't know, say 5 kilogram plates to 20 kilogram plates. You can change them in some weighted vests, and it costs 50 pounds. So there's an average cost here of like 200 pounds if you were to change them. But in the end, it's just a vest, which is just material, which is just clothing, and some plates, which you can replace with things much cheaper, sand wire, and probably other things that could make up the weight if you're just smart around it. So I'm basically saying all of this because I feel like I've got loads of ideas, and I need to like just focus on one. I need to be pushed to actually like do one. So I think about my success story, I think I would like to be able to pick one, do it. Don't care too much about where it fails or not. Obviously, everyone would think that if I wanted to be successful, that's the truth. I would like to be the first thing I do successful, but it's probably not going to be, and that's fine. But it's just doing it and then doing something else and then taking it from there. And long term, I keep saying this to myself, by 35 maybe, I want to not have to work for a company. I want to have my own thing, whether that is in Bath, London, or somewhere else in the United Kingdom, or maybe in another country. Just have something that I've built and set the vision and just go from there, because it's something really cool. Just like you said, I don't want to be told what to do, and in the company I work for, they don't tell me what to do. It's a flat structure. It's a very nice environment. We have a no blame policy. Everyone is a decision maker, and that's really cool. But I still feel that need deep down that I want to be able to do whatever I want, and if I don't like what you just said, I want to be able to change that. So yeah, long term, I want to have my own thing. What that is, I'm not sure yet, but I don't think I need to know that. What I need now is just focus on one thing, do it, start a journey.
Okay, question.
Go.
Have you just have you sat down and spoke with ChatGPT and just gone like, this is where I'm at in life right now. I want to have my own business. I don't know what it is. These are the ideas I've got. What do you think? Like, where do we go from here? How do I break it down? How do I like narrow down which one's going to be the best choice? What do I then need to do next steps? So that's what I'd do first. And then honestly do you post on LinkedIn? I've just started posting on LinkedIn with the podcast. Nice. So use LinkedIn as a testing ground. Put a poll out there. What's your opinion on cricket businesses?
It's crazy.
But I think so I hear what you're saying about the two businesses you've shared, But why would you want to start either of them?
What's the why?
What's the why?
Yeah.
Like, think about the golden circles. Like, if you've not got a why, there's no reason why people are going to buy from you.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why it was so, not easy, but such a logical next step for me to release these is it fits so deeply into my North Star metric, which is to showcase Bath to locals and tourists and to support independence. This tea towel encapsulates that in a physical product. So when you're selling your vests, why are they going to buy from you? Or why are they going to eat your crickets?
What's the why?
What's the why?
Yeah. Have you read Start With Why by Simon Sinek?
Yeah, so that's the golden circles
Yeah.
theory. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'll take this and I'll actually try having a conversation about it with ChatGPT, because actually it could be quite a productive conversation. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, better that than spend an hour watching a movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're not sure, you just got to start. Like, it took me a while to work out what to do, but I listened to a lot of podcasts and was like, nah, couldn't do that. Maybe that. Did some research. Nah, not for me. Just trial and error. But yeah, just do some research, competitor research, market research.
I'll definitely do that. I'll go home and I'll try it.
Do it. I'll message you tomorrow and you let me know if you've done it or not.
Yeah. Keep me accountable. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the question. Do you want to ask me anything else?
Do you want me to ask you anything else?
I don't know. Do you want me to? You don't have to.
I mean, have you told people about why you started your podcast?
I've told people why I started my podcast. I've told my friends. I've told my family.
Nice.
I've told people, and I'm happy I've started. I'll tell you that. I'm much happier I started, because I think I first had the idea a year and a half ago, and it took me until literally January, February to actually do it.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy I've started.
Nice.
And I'll be completely honest with you. I think this is, in terms of setup and the cameras working and everything, I think this is the first time everything's working properly. All the podcasts are cool. All the interactions I've had have been really cool and interesting. But in terms of the setup, this is the first time I've managed to crack it down to to detail. So I'm very happy.
Perfect.
Well, Kyra, before we actually wrap up, right? So
is this the cheese meat question?
this is exactly. So I asked you if you're vegetarian or don't eat dairy. So that's perfect because you're eating those things. So that's perfect. What I've got here is, when you're a kid.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, it might have been that you're eating a chocolate bar.
Right.
Every single episode I've done so far,
Okay.
I've done it with everyone. So, when you're eating a chocolate bar, and first bite, all good, sweet, nice chocolate bar. Second bite, still good, right? It's still nice, but it was missing the right amount of chocolate. Although that was for me.
Okay.
It was missing the right amount of chocolate. And it was high school, I think, when I was maybe 17. When my friend, she gave me this chocolate bar called Dare. Now, Dare is a dark chocolate bar that you can find in Romania. I think you can find it in Hungary as well, apparently. And it's got the right amount of chocolate. I've tried it. It's my favorite chocolate bar. I can't find it anywhere in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
It's amazing. So I'm curious to see how
You asked me
like
to
it.
try it so I can recommend a similar one that they do in the UK.
Oh, actually, if you have any similar...
The closest thing I can think to this is a ribbon.
Never heard of it.
Google it.
Google it. I don't know what it is. It's a lot of dark chocolate, I'll tell you that. But I feel like it's got the right amount of chocolate in there.
They're very chocolatey.
Yeah, you might need some more after that. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Kyra, thank you for this. Thank you for agreeing to do this podcast with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and again, I've been so excited. You have exceeded all my expectations, and I can't wait to see what you do next, honestly.
Thank you so much. Likewise, Luca. I'm excited.
Thank you.